Sodhi to be with us on the broadcast. Now what we are learning next is that the US President Donald Trump once again has claimed credit for easing the tensions between India and Pakistan. Despite India rejecting the claims, Trump, while participating in the US-Saudi Investment Forum, has said that he has used trade to a large extent to reach the agreement. He has said, and I quote, "Just days ago, my administration brokered a historic ceasefire to stop the escalating violence between India and Pakistan. And I used trade to a large extent to do so. It said, fellas, come on, let's make a deal, let's do some trading, let's not trade nuclear missiles, let's trade the things that you make so beautifully." And they both have very powerful leaders, very strong leaders, smart leaders, and it all stopped, unquote. Trump also expressed hope that the calm would continue and credited US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the US Vice President J.D. Vance for playing their roles in diffusing the tensions. He has also suggested that India and Pakistan have a nice dinner together as a mark of them getting back together. Let's now listen in.
We both have very powerful leaders, very strong leaders, good leaders, smart leaders. And it all stopped. Hopefully it'll remain that way, but it all stopped. I was very proud of Marco Rubio and all of the people that worked so hard. Marco, stand up. What a great job you did on that. Thank you, J.D. Vance, Marco. The whole group worked with you, but it was a great job. And I think they're actually getting along. Maybe we can even get them together a little bit, Marco, where they go out and have a nice dinner together. Wouldn't that be nice? But we've come a long way, and it could be, millions of people could have died from that conflict that started off small and was getting bigger and bigger and bigger by the day. I've also been working relentlessly to end the terrible bloodshed between Russia and Ukraine, and very important happening right here. They're happening at a very fast pace, so they have to make their move right now, one way or the other. Make your move. As I said in my inaugural address, my greatest hope is to be a peacemaker and to be a unifier. I don't like war. We have the greatest military, by the way, in the history of the world. I rebuilt our military in my first 4 years and rebuilt it into the most powerful military there is. And you saw that when I knocked out ISIS in 3 weeks. People said it would take 4 years, 5 years. I did it. We did it in 3 weeks. Just days ago, my administration successfully brokered a historic ceasefire to stop the escalating violence between India and Pakistan. And I used trade to a large extent to do it. I said, fellas, come on, let's make a deal. Let's do some trading. Let's not trade nuclear missiles. Let's trade the things that you make so beautifully. And they both have very powerful leaders, very strong leaders, good leaders, smart leaders. And it all stopped. Hopefully it'll remain that way, but it all stopped. I was very proud of Marco Rubio and all of the people that worked so hard. Marco, stand up. What a great job you did on that. Thank you, J.D. Vance, Marco. The whole group worked with you, but it was a great job. And I think they're actually getting along. Maybe we can even get them together a little bit, Marco, where they go out and have a nice dinner together. Wouldn't that be nice? But we've come a long way, and it could be, millions of people could have died from that conflict that started off small and was getting bigger and bigger and bigger by the day. I've also been working relentlessly to end the terrible bloodshed between Russia and Ukraine, and very importantly,
Aditya Vadavan, my colleague, is joining me live on the broadcast. Aditya, very briefly, in fact, what are you picking up as far as US President Donald Trump's comment now, suggesting in India and Pakistan to have dinner at an international event is concerned?
Well, Simran, if you see, US President Donald Trump is a little bit of unpredictable. He's known for making such sweeping statements. Just prior to becoming the president of the United States, he said that immediately as he takes office, he will end this Russia-Ukraine war. But this has not happened so far. And now similarly, he is making these claims and saying that through trade, I've managed to stop the violence between the war between India and Pakistan. So, at this juncture, the MEA has clarified that, the Indian side was constantly communicating US regarding the developments when the Operation Sindoor was going on. But they have clarified very clearly, the MEA has clarified that no mention of trade took place during the communication with the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Trump has been saying that that he managed to interfere and to stop this war, by offering that the United States will increase trade with both the countries. So at this juncture, he is the statement by the President Trump should not be taken on the face value, because such things are not spoken in a diplomatic immunity. But now it needs to be seen from here on how the entire incident unfolds, because he has been repeatedly saying this thing, and it needs to be seen from here on how the situation develops. Yes, Simran.
All right, Aditya, thank you very much for adding more information. Now, on my, in fact, broadcast, I have Colonel J.S. Sodhi joining me live on the broadcast. Appreciate you joining me live this morning, sir. Now, you see, this is a comment that has been made once again by US President Donald Trump, reiterated, also saying that US's trade, in fact, push was one of the largest reason for India and Pakistan to have now mediated the kind of tensions that have been brewing. What sense India does make of this? Because India has once again clearly made its stand clear and also reiterated that trade was not the part of the talks. We are yet to receive a reply from, in fact, how does Pakistan respond? But US is in no way rejecting the kind of credit that they seem to be taking for having mediated peace between India and Pakistan.
Jai Hind, Simran. It is my honor to be on your esteemed channel. Just few hours back, Reuters has released an opinion poll which clearly shows that 56% Americans are against Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is the president of a superpower, but he is losing his credibility with each passing day. The credit for the India-Pakistan ceasefire solely and only goes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who in his mature political leadership stopped the war at a time when we could have decimated Pakistan. The message should be loud and clear to the entire world that it was only because of Prime Minister Modi that we decided for a ceasefire, and this is a temporary ceasefire. Everything now is in Pakistan's hands. If they continue supporting terrorism, like Prime Minister Modi said, we will give them a befitting reply. Well, Donald Trump's words have literally no value today. He has made a laughing stock of himself, though at a high position he is there, which is supposed to be the most powerful, position a human can occupy on this planet Earth. But sadly to say, Simran, this is not the way the American president should behave. Well, definitely, when the conflict was on, there would have been numerous calls between Washington and New Delhi, between Washington and Islamabad. That is a part of normal process which happens whenever there's any conflict, any war going on. But to take the credit is absolutely wrong, is absolutely baseless.
All right, in fact, Mr. Sodhi, thank you very much for giving us the time and context. And to all my guests, UK Captain Devnath, thank you very much for being with us. Meanwhile, Tommy Pigott, the Principal Deputy